Flash, together with Protean Hulk, turns into a great combo that is quite a meta thing inside this format of cEDH. What we actually do is that we cast Flash for only 2 mana in instant speed, reveal and put Protean Hulk directly into play. Then we are forced to pay the cost of this Protean Hulk. We're not going to do that, and that will make it die, sending it to the graveyard. And from that we're going to get the die trigger of the Protean Hulk to search our library for any number of creature cards with total converted mana cost of 6 or less and put them all directly into play. And from that we're going to score a win through a combo package of creature cards through this thing. And in this video we are going to be looking at a lot of different combo package that you can go for with Flash Hulk. Let's begin with looking at Breakfast Hulk, considered one of the fastest combo deck inside this format. So the Bubbling Beast dies, and we're going to start with finding Nomad's Encore for 1 white mana, and then Cephalid's Illusionist for 2 mana. And then we can find whatever we want for maybe 1 mana, so let's just find Elvish Mystic. It has purpose, we're gonna find on that later. And then we have 2 mana left to find whatever we want, and we don't actually need anything, but we're going to go for Grand Abolisher, because from now on our opponents can't do anything more this turn. So from here we can do this. Use Nomad's Encore for ability for 0 mana to target this thing, and whenever this thing becomes targeted, the Cephalid Illusionist, you move cards from the top of your deck into your graveyard. And we are going to do this until our entire deck is put into our graveyard. And from there we have Dread Return with its flashback cost. And now the importance of finding Elvish Mystic becomes real, because we can sacrifice these 3 creature cards to cast Dread Return from our graveyard. And from there we can do whatever we want. We can put whatever creature card we want into play. The most popular one seems to be Muldrotha, but I think you could also go for a Necrotic Ooze package win from there as well, depending on how you feel and how you want to play. In any case, from Muldrotha, the most common thing that you do is that you cast Lion's Eye Diamond, discarding your entire hand and gaining a lot of blue mana, casting Phantasmal Image, and then remake a copy of Muldrotha, and then you have Necromancy to return Muldrotha from the graveyard to play, and then you can loop the Lion's Eye Diamond for infinite mana, and then you can cast Laboratory Maniac and a draw card spell and win from there. Cool. Now Breakfast Hulk also do one more thing. It plays Hermit Druid to do pretty much the exact same thing. Once Hermit Druid activates, we have put our entire deck into our graveyard, because we are not going to play any basic land in Breakfast Hulk whatsoever, achieving pretty much the same thing. Because of Hermit Druid, this deck also then plays Narcomoebia and Fate Stitcher, because these 2 cards enable the fact that we're going to get 3 creature cards in play. And remember, it was important for this deck to have 3 creature cards in play, so we could flashback Dread Return. So in the end, this combo package is quite big. We have a lot of cards in it to enable the entire win. That means that we're gonna have a little bit less space for other things. However, the cards in this deck are quite good. Dread Return is a really good card. Necromancy is a really good card. And if the game for some reason goes terribly long, well, Muldrotha is a good card inside your 99. However, some of the cards here aren't that really good. This Nomad thing and the Cephalid Illusionist are kinda terrible. And Laboratory Maniac is also pretty darn bad inside this deck, if you don't do anything with it. It's basically a 3 mana 2/2, nothing more. Grand Abolisher is really good. Narcomoebia is nothing, really. Fate Stitcher is at least something. It's a 4 mana untap a land, or a Soul Ring or Mana Vault. That's quite good, but that's all to it as well. Quite a large combo package in the end. Next up we are going to be looking at the Bone Weaver Giant combo deck, an old school build that went for the Bone Weaver Giant and an enchantment, but now that Protean Hulk is legal, we have pretty much removed the Bone Weaver and replaced it with Protean Hulk. The name still sticks around. In any case, this is what's going to happen. Protean Hulk dies, and we're going to find Karmic Guide for 5 mana, targeting Proton Hulk from the graveyard, returning it to play. But we're also going to find a creature card that has a sacrificial outlet for 1. These two cards are total converted mana cost of 6 together. From here we're going to sacrifice Proton Hulk to this thing, giving this a +1/+1 counter. That's not relevant. Sending it to the graveyard and dying, and then we can find more stuff. So now we're going to find Saphis Eric's daughter, and then something more, I don't really care. What we're going to do is sacrifice Saphis Eric's daughter, targeting Karmic Guide. So when this thing dies, it will return to play once more because of Saphi. So we sacrifice Karmic Guide to Carrion Feeder, sending it to the graveyard. Saphi's ability triggers and it comes back into play, returning Proton Hulk once more. Sacrificing Proton Hulk once more to Carrion Feeder, sending it to the graveyard, and then finding Revliarch. Now we can sacrifice Karmic Guide to this thing for no purpose at all. And then we sacrifice Karmic Guide to Carrion Feeder once more, getting Karmic Guide's ability. Now we're gaining back both Saphi and Karmic Guide from our graveyard. And Karmic Guide triggers and return Proton Hulk from the graveyard. And then you activate Saphi's ability, target this thing, sacrifice Saphi, sacrifice this thing, return Revliarch. And now we have these 3 creature cards in play. We can do this loop forever, returning things over and over. And this means that we can put whatever creature card we want from our deck into play that don't cost more than 6 mana or so. And this, ladies and gentlemen, means that we can find Triskelion together with Mikaeus and score a win from there. Or you get your hands on a Blood Artist. Both things will do the job. In the end, not really that big of a combo package, only 6 cards total, or if you remove Mikaeus and Triskelion, it becomes a 5-card combo package. However, the cards inside this package aren't really amazing. Blood Artist is pretty bad without a combo win from it. The same with Carrion Feeder. Sure, Carrion Feeder will grow and become really big for sacrificing, let's say, Saprolings. However, it's still just a 1/1 for 1 black mana. Saphi is pretty situational, but in the end not really good in my experience, unless you win from a combo. Karmic Guide is pretty good, however it's a really expensive reanimator effect, so you could play Rasaket Reanimator with this combo as well. Revliarch is pretty okay-ish. It can return a lot of hate bears if you have nothing better to do with it. So you could play something functional of a hate bear-ish reanimator deck from this package. However, I think the combo is quite strong and the package is decently small. However, we can make this combo package a little bit more smaller than this. We can do this. So let's remove these 2 out of the game and these 2 for temporary purpose, and this thing will die. We will start with doing the same thing, finding these 2, returning Proton Hulk from graveyard to play. Then we will sacrifice it once more to find first Blood Artist and Fiend Hunter. And with Fiend Hunter we can target Karmic Guide, moving it out of the game under Fiend Hunter. And then we sacrifice the Fiend Hunter to Carrion Feeder, it goes to the graveyard, Karmic Guide comes into play, and Blood Artist trigger because Fiend Hunter died. And then Karmic Guide will return Fiend Hunter once more, and Fiend Hunter will eat Karmic Guide once more, and then we have infinite amount of Blood Artist triggers. So this is a quite smaller combo package, only relying on black and white. And if we do compare all these 5 cards compared to Fiend Hunter, I actually think Fiend Hunter is pretty okay. Fiend Hunter is actually a situational card that we can use against our opponents. It's not really great either, it's like you don't really wanna have it, but you can use it. It's not a useless card inside your 99 compared to what Blood Artist is. Alright, I know Blood Artist isn't terribly useless either. It has really weird situation where someone would try to combo off and win with sacrificing infinite tokens like Prosh. And this combo package fits perfectly inside Thrasios Triton Hero together with Tymna, giving you all the color identities you need for this build. And most likely when you're going for this Hulk package, you're building a hate bear deck to have a lot of good hate bears and potentially reanimator effects. Tymna gives you color identity of black, so you have Rasaket, and Tymna also gets you color identity of white, so you get hate bears. And Thrasios gives you both Protein Hulk and Flash, and green for other hate bears as well. But Thrasios also gives you blue for control, so you could potentially go for a control build as well. But I think a hate bear Staxy build is the right way of going if you're putting together this combo package. Now we are going to be looking at a really strange combo package, but a kinda cool one. So first up, the Bubbling Beast dies, and we're going to start with finding a Azuri Claw of Progress. And after we find a Azuri Claw of Progress from our 99, we find Sage of Hours. Now I don't own the card, so we're looking at a big beautiful picture here. He costs 2 mana, and the Azuri Claw of Progress costs 4 mana, meaning we can't find any more creature cards whatsoever, right? However, we can find any number of creature cards that cost 0. So first up we have Memnite, then we have Dryad Arbor, then we have Hangerback Walker, and then Walking Ballista. So these 2 creature cards will die. We don't really care that much about it because they still serve the purpose of granting Azuri experience counters. Sage of Hours also grants you the 5th experience counter, so now we have a grand total of 5 experience counters. We immediately go to a combat step and we put 5+1+1 counters on Sage of Hours. And after that we have infinite turns. Great. However, what deck on this earth would actually wanna play Memnite? The other cards aren't that terrible. Dryad Arbor is quite good. Hangerback Walker is not really good, but it's not terrible either. Okay, it's definitely not good. Walking Ballista is good if the situation is right. But in any case, Memnite is really bad. But there is a commander that really wanna play Memnite, and that is Edric, Spymaster of Tress, because he's looking for a lot of creature cards at a really low cost, so he can just swarm your opponents and gain infinite turns by casting Time Warps over and over and overdrawing his deck. And if you don't draw Sage of Hours but draw a Azuri Claw of Progress, then you can make really big flyers and you could potentially win from that. So this is a combo package that would actually be functional in this deck. However, this combo package could also be functional in Azuri Claw of Progress if you for some reason decided that you want to play this thing. He is not really a cEDH commander and he doesn't see high amount of plays, but this is definitely a combo that you could put into Azuri Claw of Progress. However, it requires that you have your commander in play for this effect to be functional. In the end, a really weird combo package, but not that terrible actually. It's quite functional and it's okay-ish. Now, we are going to be looking at another combo, not package, but a combo. It's actually a storm combo. So Protein Hulk dies and goes to a bin, and we start by finding Firebrand Archer together with Tandem Lookout, and we soulbound these 2. And this means that whenever you cast a non-creature spell, Firebrand Archer will deal 1 damage to all of your opponents, and you will draw a card for each opponent. So whenever you cast your Lotus Petal for 0 mana, you will draw, let's say you have 3 opponents, then you will draw 3 cards, and you sacrifice Lotus Petal for a mana. So it becomes 0 mana, gain 1 mana, and draw 3 cards. And you can potentially storm off and win with Firebrand Archer from this. It is actually a storm build, more focused around getting these 2 creature cards into play, but there are alternatives, more variations to Tandem Lookout, like Keen Sense, Ophidian Eye, and Curiosity. And this reveals the name of this deck. It is actually Curiosity Storm we're talking about. And there are also alternatives to Tandem Lookout, like Thermo Alchemist and Gutter Snipe. So in the end we want one of these cards in play and one of these cards in play together. And Flash Hulk pretty much just enables it. So it's not really a Flash Hulk combo deck, it is more of a Curiosity Storm deck that use Flash Hulk to enable the combo, or enable the setup actually. And that means that this package is pretty much awesome. We have no cards whatsoever that we don't want to have inside the deck. Flash Hulk and Hulk are the only cards that don't do anything if we have them in hand and these cards in play. So in the end, it's a really good package and it's a really good deck. However, you're not going to win the moment you resolve this. It's a storm build and it could fizzle, but in the end it's a really potent deck. The ideal commanders for this deck is either Thrasius the Triton hero partnered up with Veil Smasher, because this goblin is an alternative, or not really a good alternative, but it is an alternative to these free creature cards, because you can put Curiosity onto your Smasher, your crazy goblin, and whenever you cast a spell you will cantrip and draw a card from it, and you will deal damage, so it's an alternative win. It also gives the color identities you need. It's time to look at a really strong combo package that is quite rare and you're probably never going to see it. This thing dies, and we're starting with finding Karmic Guide and this Sacrificial Outlet. Once more, we've probably seen this happening. And then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to bring this thing back in play, sacrifice it to this creature, and we're going to find Kiki Yiki. Now what we're going to do is that we're going to activate Kiki Yiki targeting Karmic Guide, but in response we're keeping priority and their ability is still on the stack. We sacrifice Kiki Yiki to Carrion Feeders, sending Kiki Yiki to the dead zone, and then the token resolves and we get a token of the Karmic Guide. This is a token, and then that token will target Kiki Yiki from the graveyard, and we will do the same thing, target the original and then sacrifice Carrion Feeder to Kiki Yiki, and we'll produce one more token of Karmic Guide, returning Kiki Yiki from the graveyard. This will give us infinite amount of Karmic Guide, 2/2 flying creature cards that are white and protection from black. And then we go to combat step and attack with them because they have haste. Great. However, Flash is blue, Protein Hulk is green, Karmic Guide is white, Carrion Feeder is black, and Kiki Yiki is red. This is all 5 color identities, requiring that you have to play a 5 color deck. And that is why this combo package is quite rare and quite really not played that much. Well, we have a commander coming up that could potentially play this. Nayela Blade Blossom could put this combo package together. However, other combo decks like Tasri Food Chain wouldn't really play this, or he could play it, but I guess his Food Chain combo is what you wanna go for. You could maybe have this deck in Ramos the Dragon Engine. He is not really a great commander, but he gives you all 5 color identities, and you could use him for something else maybe. Alright, I have saved the best one for last, or actually this combo package is considered the worst one, but in my opinion it's definitely a really good one, and I actually think this is my favorite one. So this is a different thing. This is Academy Rector, which is same thing kinda. When Academy Rector dies, you will send it to exile and you will find an enchantment and put that one in play. And you probably guessed it, we're going to find Omniscience. So it has the same start. You cast Flash, sacrifice Academy Rector and send it to exile, putting Omniscience in play. But here comes the big critique to this combo package and this combo deck, because from Omniscience we don't score a win immediately. We need to do something more. We need to cast one whatever tutor, like this thing. So we cast this thing to search a library for another tutor, like this one. And we cast that one to search for this thing, Seasons Past. And we cast Seasons Past, returning these 2 tutors to our hand. And Seasons Past goes to the bottom of our deck. So from here, we cast Daimonic Tutor, search for Seasons Past, then we cast this thing to search for whatever we want. Don't really matter, because we're going to basically search out our entire deck and basically play our entire deck. And usually what I win from is Praetor's Grasp, because what we can do is we cast Praetor's Grasp, exile a card, whatever we want from our opponent's deck, then we cast Daimonic Tutor, find Seasons Past, and we loop this. So we can exile all our opponent's deck into face down exile. We can win with whatever we want actually from here. However, there are some good stuff with this combo package, because we can also play Protein Hulk. So let's cast Flash, reveal Protein Hulk, sacrifice it and do the thing. And we find Academy Rector and Carrion Feeder from this. These are on converted mana cost total of 5, so we could find one more creature card. Not really relevant, because the first thing we do is that we sacrifice Academy Rector with Carrion Feeder. So basically we have an increased 2 targets of Protean Hulks in this deck, both Academy Rector and the Hulk, both achieving the same thing, putting Omniscience into play. But why I also like this combo package is because tutors are part of the combo run. We use tutors to win the game with Omniscience, but also we can use tutors to find the combo pieces. If we have 3 tutors on our hand, we can cast this one to find Academy Rector, then we cast this one to find Flash, and then we cast this thing to put Omniscience in play, and then you cast this thing to find another tutor, and then another tutor to find Seasons Past, and then you win. So tutors are part of the combo package, which is really good, because all tutors are really good. This deck is also going to see a lot of upgrade. So here we have Recruiter of the God, and here we have Imperial Recruiter. Both of these 2 creature cards can find Academy Rector. And then we have another creature card called Spell Seeker. And Spell Seeker isn't really out yet, but it's going to be very soon, and it can find a sorcery that costs 2 or less. That means that Spell Seeker can find Demonic Tutor. But first up, Recruiter of the God and Imperial Recruiter can also find Spell Seeker. And that means that we're going to have increased amount of better tutors for this deck. For example, this is a really bad tutor. It costs 5 mana, not really good. Instead, we can cast Imperial Recruiter for 3 mana to find Academy Rector to our hand. Or if we already have Academy Rector to our hand and we have Flash in our hand, we can cast Flash, kill Academy Rector and get Omniscience in play. And then we cast Imperial Recruiter and find Spell Seeker. Perfect. And then we cast Spell Seeker and finds Demonic Tutor. So we're definitely getting an upgrade for this build with Spell Seeker. Ideal commanders for this build could be Tymna and Thrasios, because they are pretty much the best ones you could pick. Tymna is just awesome, and Thrasios is pretty much okay too. And with Thrasios you could go for Isochron Scepter Dramatic Reversal combo as well, pretty much achieving the same thing, because with infinite mana it is pretty much the same thing as having Omniscience in play. And with Thrasios and Seasons Past you can grind through your entire deck. So, and we're probably going to play a lot of artifacts as well and ramp in this deck. And with Recruiter of the God we have a creature card that can attack and draw cards with Tymna. However, we're not allowed to play the Imperial Recruiter, but fine enough, we're still allowed to play Spell Seeker from this. Another creature card that could be a great commander for this deck is Yoda, because if we actually draw Omniscience, Yoda can for 5 mana put it in play, and that is quite okay-ish. So he's a commander that could fix it for us. Other than that, he's pretty darn useless. He's a really bad commander in every sort of other aspect. However, he gives us color identity of red, which gives us allowance to play Imperial Recruiter. And also he would give us the possibility of playing Confluence, which is pretty much the same thing as the Seasons Past, but maybe better, because we could have Confluence inside our Wish board and then play Burning Wish, which is also a tutor in its aspect, because we could cast Burning Wish once we have Omniscience in play and find Confluence from our sideboard. Another potential commander for this deck is Ramos the Dragon Engine. I don't know which one you wanna go for, pretty much just play a preference what you think is the best one. However, I do think that Thrasios Tymna is the one to go for if you wanna put this deck together. And that pretty much is it. There's a lot more combo package you could go for, but I don't think we need to look at every single one of them, because they are pretty much just variations. Many of them are actually variations to the Bone Weaver Giant version that we looked at, and then after that there's just more value hulks, you could call it. decks that aren't really focused on getting Flash Hulk cost, more like, oh, actually I got a Flash Hulk and I can do some cool value with it because I have another combo ID with my deck. In any case, this summarizes it, and I hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you so much for watching it. And please take care and have a great day.